Hey guys, it's Jason here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. Today we get to check out the new brushless 3S Arrma Infraction. Now this is a 1/8 scale. They refer to it as a resto-mod truck. Basically that's kind of a cool name for a 1/8 scale, 90% on-road, maybe 80% on-road, 20% off-road truck. The reason, guys, I say it that way is it's a slightly bit higher than, let's say, something like a normal on-road car. But come on, let's just look at it. It's definitely, guys, more of an on-road vehicle. But let's get into the box. Let's get the truck on the counter. We're going to go over, guys, some of the stuff that the truck has. A few of the components, obviously the ESC, the motor, and all that kind of fun stuff. But again, because this is very close to the brushed version, I'm not going to go into everything on the truck in a lot of detail. Guys, just really want to get the truck out and actually give it a run. So let's just get into that. All right, guys, let me know what you think, because this black and gold, guys, looks wicked. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm sort of trying to get in close, but there actually is, guys, a bit of, kind of a flake in it. It sort of looks like, kind of like a little bit of a pearl or something like that going on. It definitely, guys, looks really, really cool. If you don't know, or if you weren't noticing at the beginning of the video when we were looking at the box, it also does come in a black and teal color. Again, I prefer the black and gold. Now, like I said, we're going to quickly go over it this way, guys. It does now come with different tires. These are Hoons 11s. You know what? I don't know if I should be saying this or not, because I would hate for Arrma or Horizon to get in any trouble, but I do really think that somebody at Horizon Hobbies is a fan of a certain TV show, because these are called the 11s. And some of the music I've been hearing in videos sounds like a certain show that I love to watch. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. You guys can kind of let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. But let's just get that body off, guys, and we're going to quickly go into some details of the truck. All right, so when I first started looking at this truck, I genuinely, guys, thought it was a 1/10 scale truck. I just saw 3S and I just assumed it was a 1/10 scale size. Now, when you get the truck out of the box, and then I actually go back and read the box and read all the details, yes, of course, it's a 1/8 scale truck. But there's not a whole lot of 1/8 scale 3S type vehicles. But when you get this out and you get it on the bench, I actually, guys, when I was kind of taking this all out, I had sort of compared the body, and I will show you guys later in the video, to my Creighton EXB, and I also brought it near my Outcast 4S. Because I initially, guys, had thought that this body was going to be something similar to what is on the 4S Outcast, and it is much, much larger. So let's get into some of the details on this truck, the ESC, the motor, and all that kind of fun stuff. You have a Spektrum 100 amp ESC. So unlike the 4S 120 amp ESC that's in the Outcast 4S, this is a 100 amp 3S ESC. You've got a 3900 kV motor running a 20-tooth pinion. Now, in the box with the manual comes the speed gearing. You can see right there. And as you can see, it's a 26 turn. To get this truck up to the 65 miles an hour, which, guys, we're going to be testing, you have to install that 26 turn pinion. Now, I basically, guys, in the first few runs, want to get out and just kind of enjoy this truck. I'm just going to rip it around, have a lot of fun. We are going to do a few speed runs with it with the stock gearing on 3S. We're not going to be doing, guys, anything on 2S. We'll be able to get the speed, guys, with that stock 20-tooth pinion. And then in later video, guys, we'll go out with that 26-tooth pinion in, and we'll see how that goes. You have the, what is this? I think it's the S651 steering servo, which is good, I think, for about a little bit over 102 ounces of torque. Now, the BLX Infraction, guys, does come with the upgraded Spektrum radio and receiver. So you have the DX3 over there, and you have an SR6200 in here. Now, that is it's a smart radio, as well as, guys, it also has built-in telemetry. So a few things. If you run one of Spektrum's smart batteries, you will have the indicators on here kind of telling you where your battery are. But if you choose to run the Bluetooth module, I can't remember the number right now offhand, but you pop this off and there's a Bluetooth module that can sit in there. You then can download the Spektrum dashboard That'll give you more kind of real-time information with your batteries, your speeds, I think your RPMs, and a few other things. So that's kind of cool. Now, again, you do have to buy the Bluetooth module, but I don't think it's very expensive. I think it's around 25 bucks or something like that. And again, it just installs into your transmitter, and then you get that kind of information. It's nice that they included this receiver and this transmitter, because I think, guys, this is actually probably one of the best RTR transmitters out there. It's a different transmitter, but just like the transmitter that comes with something like the Outcast 4S, you still have your throttle limiting switch. So a vehicle like this is, again, a lot of fun for everybody. If you head out, you've got a great place to run it. You know what? The RC guru, the veteran, is going to enjoy this. He's going to throw a 3S LiPo in it, run it at 100%. But again, if you go out with your kids, like I'm pretty sure, guys, I'm going to take out Liam tomorrow, my son, and we're going to take this truck out and we're going to have some fun. I probably will let him try it on 100%, but I know I'll kind of work him up, go from 50 up to 100. So I definitely like, guys, that it comes with that radio, as well as, guys, this also has AVC, and it makes perfect sense. You know, I am not a huge AVC kind of guy, but when it comes to vehicles like this and trying to keep them straight, AVC definitely helps. All right, one thing that is very different on this truck compared to the brush version, obviously besides the ESC and motor and radio gear and all that kind of fun stuff, is the tires. So these have the Hoons 11 on them, where the brushed version had the Guitars on them. And the Guitars are kind of like the Italian tire sort of thing, a lot more off-roadish, where, as you can see, guys, these are definitely more of an on-road tire. Now, it makes sense because they want the high speeds out of this truck. They want you to push the limits. They want you to hit that 60, 65 miles an hour. So obviously with something like an off-road tire, it wouldn't be as easy. These feel pretty good. What I'm hoping, guys, these tires do, and I won't know until I get out and start running the truck, is I hope they really allow you to spin them. So yes, I know you want grip. You want to, obviously, you know, if you're going in a straight line, you want to be able to take off and launch and go. But what I'm hoping, guys, is that with that body, that I can kind of get this thing out and start ripping it around. And if I'm into it, let's say for a quarter of a throttle, I'm hoping that, you know, if I can get those tires to spin, that I can, you know, do, I don't want to say drifting, because I know a drifting is a completely different tire, completely different compound. But I'm just hoping that they'll kind of break loose and I can have a little bit of fun with it that way, because that's what I'm kind of hoping, guys, for this truck. Now, a lot of the drivetrain is similar to previous and other 3S vehicles, guys. So you can, you know, this is spring loaded. You can pull this back, get to your slipper clutch and all that kind of fun stuff. You can see that there actually is mounting here for a brace, but there is no center, like, you know, tower to tower brace on the truck. I assume that they realize that obviously you're not going to be launching this truck, and the chassis and all that stuff isn't going to be flexing that much, but it is still there, which I think is pretty cool. Now, up front, you've got this huge, big foam bumper, which is definitely, guys, really, really nice. I would think that a lot of the people that buy this truck are going to be at times taking it out in front of their house, ripping it up and down the street, trying to get those speed runs in, and at times are probably going to smash off a curb. Having something like this in front to kind of take that first amount of impact is going to be awesome. Now, saying that, I'm actually kind of shocked as to the size of everything. This is, guys, I think only my second 3S truck. I did have a 3S Big Rock years ago, and these are just massive, guys. The C-hubs, the steering knuckles, everything is very, very beefy. Again, I wouldn't want to put this right into a curb or anything like that, because obviously putting all the force into, you know, a part of your steering component is not a great idea. But the bumper, guys, does come around. I'm actually just going to bring it up right now to show you. The bumper does cover a lot. Now, obviously, I don't have one of the tires on. You can see over here when you do have the tire on that you would have this open. But again, guys, you have a nice, big, wide bumper on the front that definitely will absorb. I'm not going to say prevent everything from breaking, but it's definitely going to absorb that first part of the impact. Now, if you have that speed pinion in and you're doing 65 miles an hour and you hit a curb, let me know how you make out, because I'm curious. Definitely throw a link down below, because I'd like to see that. Now, one thing, guys, I didn't mention, but was obviously very obvious when you were looking at this truck, with the 3900 kV motor comes, again, a nice, big, beefy heatsink. You can see it starts all the way up here, wraps all the way around, and you've got a fan on it as well. My guess is this is probably geared up maybe a little bit high, even with that 20-tooth pinion for stock. So by including, obviously, guys, that nice big heatsink, including the fan, that's definitely going to help keep this thing cool. Plus, let's face it, speed run vehicles in general, and I know this is not necessarily a full-on speed run kind of car. It's not a limitless or anything. But for the most part, a lot of people are going to be taking this thing out and pulling that trigger and seeing what kind of speeds they can get out of it. And when you start getting these motors to those top RPMs, the max RPMs, that's when you really start building heat. And let's face it, in a vehicle like this where you're going to pull the trigger and then try to keep it in a straight line and see what you get for a top speed, I am glad that right out of the box, Arrma just gives us the heatsink. They give us the fan. Obviously, the ESC guys has a fan as well. So again, nice that they included it. It's all wired up. It's all good to go. As promised, I told you that I would put the new 1/8 scale Infraction BLX body up against the Arrma Outcast 4S body and the Crate EXP body. And you know, it's funny. I've mentioned this, guys, in my videos with the Outcast 4S. That truck does not seem small. It seems like very, very close to the 8 scale Outcast 6S. Now, I also understand that, hey, the Outcast body is obviously a little bit stubbier, but when you see these two beside each other, the Outcast body just looks so tiny. It's pretty crazy. The Infraction is definitely, guys, like I said, it is a 1/8 scale truck. There you can see it with the Crate EXP. You know what? I'll just quickly slide this over here. Put this one back over here now. And there. You can see the Crate EXP body. The only reason, guys, I'm doing this is I know maybe not all of you will have an Outcast 4S body, but my guess is a lot of people watching this video probably have some Crate 6S. Maybe not the EXP, maybe it's an older one, maybe it's a brand new one, who knows. But you'll definitely know, probably, most of you will know this body, they'll know the size of it. And again, I'm just showing you guys that next to the Infraction. All right, guys, I went ahead and threw one of my 3S LiPos in there because I wanted to fire up the truck and just show you guys the steering servo. The reason I'm doing that is I know I can be at times sort of hard on RTR servos. At 102, I think, ounces of torque is what this has at 6 volts. It might not sound like a lot, but again, remember, guys, this truck isn't, you know, turning great big knobby meats. It's not going to be buried in dirt and rocks and all that kind of stuff and trying to turn. Most of the time, this thing's going to be ripping around on pavement, maybe, you know, light gravel like a baseball field or something like that. And I'd already kind of fired this thing up and checked it out. And overall, guys, I'm pretty impressed. That works pretty good. It's got nice control. And you know what, guys, to me, that's really, really important because when I get this thing out and I start hitting the speeds and all that kind of stuff, the last thing, guys, I want is something that, let's say, is super, super twitchy, where you're going to find yourself doing something like that and all of a sudden you're going flying. I wouldn't want that personally, guys. So I think this will probably be a pretty good servo. Now, just because it's sitting on a bench, oh yeah. Okay. That's going to rip. All right, guys, there it is. The Arrma Infraction 1/8 scale resto-mod 3S BLX truck. That is one heck of a mouthful. What we're going to do now is we are going to head up to my work. If you haven't been with me before, when I've ran vehicles like the Felony, the Fire Team, stuff like that up there, I work at a college. We have huge parking lots. We've got a lot of nice grounds to run these kind of vehicles on. And what I want to do is this, kind of a quick top speed run with the 20-tooth pinion. So we're going to do that probably, guys, will be the first thing to do when we head up there. And then I'll do a little bit of general ripping around, but I'll probably save a lot of that, guys, for another video because I really don't want this video to go on and on and on and on and on. But let's get this truck in the back of the vehicle and let's head up there.
All right, guys, as you can see, we're up at my work. It is first thing in the morning. It's about 9 o'clock. And unfortunately, it's a little bit cool. So it's not like the pavement or anything is going to be hot. It's not like the tires are going to be warm or anything right away. But what we're going to do is we're going to start down there and we're going to rip, and then we can come flying here and then hopefully not hit anything down there. I've been up here before with the Felony. It was a lot of fun. I got my little guy in the car. He's going to do some of the recording. I've got the GoPro on my head. I'm going to do some recording. We're just waiting for the GPS to hit all its satellites, and then we're going to try a couple speed runs. Again, fully, guys, stock setup. 20-tooth pinion with the Arrma 100 running on 3S. It's a Gens Ace 5500 60C pack. And all I've pretty much done, guys, at this point is just kind of went over my wheel nuts, all that kind of fun stuff, make sure everything's good and snug. But let's go out and give this thing a couple runs and see how it does. All right, guys, driving the Infraction. This is the first time. Just gonna check my steering. It's always so weird for me to drive, you know, a vehicle like this because I'm so used to just driving off-road trucks that having something that sticks to the ground and actually goes the way it's supposed to is always fun. But anyways, guys, what I want to do is I want to get a few of those kind of top speed runs in, see how we do. I've got AVC up a bit to kind of help us out. Now I am obviously, guys, coming down a bit of a hill, so for anybody that's going to start saying, hey, you're cheating, hey, the point of this, guys, is fun. I just want to get an idea and not hit a pole. Holy! Oh, okay, there's something down there. I think I hit that with the felony. So nice, so controllable. Again, guys, I know that, hey, I'm kind of a noob to the whole on-road sort of thing, but again, it's funny for me to drive something that just stays planted so well. Full out. Oh, that's fun. And I gotta make sure I don't hit that thing anymore. All right, we're gonna try one more run, see if we can do full speed. Oh yeah, that is fun. So nice, so controllable. Let's bring it back. Full speed. And then I kind of let off there, guys, right at the end. All right, Liam, come over here, buddy. Just come back to the car for a sec. All right, guys, let's see how we did. Oh, this thing looks so good ripping around. Oh yeah, that bump's right there somewhere. Oh yeah, see, that's what I was looking for, guys. Right there, that little bit of a squirmy thing. All right, let's see how we did. See, buddy? All right. No, I know. All right, let's see how we did, guys. Alrighty. So we're gonna bring this up. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. We're gonna stop. We're gonna read. All right. So guys, right out of the box, running the 20-tooth pinion. Remember, the 20-tooth pinion, we hit 58 miles an hour. So, you know what? I'm pretty excited, guys, to get that 26-tooth in there because I think 65 miles is going to be pretty easy to hit. But let's head out, guys. We're just going to do some general ripping around here, have some fun, and just overall get a good feel for this truck and see what it's able to do. All right. So, guys, as I've mentioned, I work here. I go in those doors over there every morning, and I've been staring at this roundabout, thinking of what I'm about to do for years. So I'm going to have to warm up to this. Whoa. Okay, so I need to be a little bit slower.
All right, so that was just, guys, a quick rip of this morning's run. I wanted to show you guys the top speed. That was 58 miles an hour with the included pinion. And I wanted to do just a quick kind of sort of simple little bash just so you guys could see it run. But for the most part, guys, everything's going to come in the second video. I have so much footage between everything I recorded with the GoPro and what my son recorded with the iPhone that it's honestly going to take me days to go through it all. I ran two 5500 milliamp batteries through the truck and had a lot of fun. Now, what I want to do, guys, is address a few things. And the first few things are going to be really, really obvious. And the next things, if, you know, the guys from Arrma are watching this, they're probably going to be like, why is he focusing on this? But to me, guys, this was really, really cool. And it kind of shocked the heck out of me. Obvious things first. Truck runs awesome. It handles awesome. You know, being an off-road guy, you know, that usually drives 1/8 scale truggies, stuff like that, it is so weird to drive something that just sticks to the ground and goes. It's a completely, guys, different experience for me. It's got great speed, it's got great acceleration, and overall, guys, it's just a very well-balanced truck. Now, here's where we're going to get into some of the weird things that, again, I don't know if people find this interesting. I hope you guys do. The morning started off cool. So when I first got up there, guys, it was literally only 8 or 9 degrees Celsius. But given that this is July, the temperatures started rising. And near the end, I was too lazy to take my sweatshirt off and I was sweating like a pig, but it did start to get hot. And as I was driving the truck, the first few times, you know, I wanted to check the temps. I pulled it in and put my finger on the motor, checked the AC. It was literally, guys, barely warm. At one point, I really started running the truck. I even think I'd switched the battery. I went to a fresh battery and was doing a lot of just open, wide open throttles, all that kind of fun stuff. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh man, I have not brought this truck in and checked the temps. Like I've literally put a pack and now I'm on my second pack through it. And I brought the truck in and I put my finger on that motor, checked out the ESC guys. And again, it was just barely lukewarm. It just had a little bit of heat to it, which is totally acceptable. The thing is something that shocked the living heck out of me because I am used to, again guys, 1/8 scale truggies, monster trucks. And when you want to brake, you kind of, you let off, you feather the throttle a little bit, because if you don't, you're going to go ass over tea kettle. So when you're trying to do speed runs with usually guys, monster trucks and stuff like that, most of the time you kind of have to slow down way before you really want to. This thing today, at the beginning of the video, guys, when I was doing those speed runs, you probably noticed that I was kind of letting off right at the end, almost like when it gets to me, because again, I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh man, I'm going to put this thing into the barrier. And later on, guys, and this is going to come in the second video, I was ripping it around in the back. I was kind of like, oh, I'm going to do this. I got this, cool idea, Liam, for a clip. My son, by the way, Liam. And we were bringing the truck down, and all of a sudden I just thought to myself, like, you know what? I'm going to see how this thing breaks. And I kind of, the first time, I think I just remember thinking like, oh man, what's going to happen? And it was amazing to watch a truck that was almost, guys, I would say, let's say at wide open throttle, kind of close to it. So at least over 50 miles an hour at that point. I just literally, guys, took the trigger, jammed it full forward, and the truck just slowed down and stopped. It didn't go all over the place. It didn't go squirmy. It didn't go ass over tea kettle. It just pretty much almost even stayed, guys, in the line that I was on, and it just stopped. And the funny thing was is that at one point, even my son, and he didn't know what I was doing, was like, oh, wow. And I was like, that is freaking cool. So the next time, guys, we go out with that 26 tooth pinion, I'm going to feel a lot better about slowing this thing down, because that to me was just awesome. AVC worked extremely well. And again, when we're out bashing and we're doing jumps and backflips and stuff like that, you don't necessarily want a lot of AVC, if any, because it kind of messes with what you're doing in the air, whether you're doing a backflip, a front flip, you're trying to correct, whatever. But on a vehicle like this, it is absolutely awesome. And the other thing, which is a third thing, even though I said there's only two things, the tires were awesome. They gripped great, but they still allowed me to kind of spin them and throw the truck around a little bit. Yeah, it was so funny. In my head, I was building up to this awesome roundabout drift, and it clearly did not go the way I thought it was going to. And honestly, guys, spoiler alert, it doesn't get much better. I tried many times. It doesn't get much better. But you're going to see that, guys, in the next video. Again, I've got a lot of footage, guys, to go through. We're all over the college. We're in a bunch of different places. It was awesome, and I had a super fun time with this truck. And I'm definitely, guys, going to be taking it out a lot more. I also have, guys, some different higher milliamp batteries coming for it, because the 5500s lasted a long time. But I want something with just a little bit more runtime, because this truck, guys, clearly can take it. A little, bit of extra weight with batteries is not going to, I don't see how it's going to affect it in a negative way at all. There's lots of power. There's plenty of power. We don't have heat issues or anything like that. So yeah, I'm excited, guys, for those batteries to show up and show you guys. But that is it, guys. Huge thanks to everybody at Arrma for sending me this truck, because this thing is an absolute blast. And Arrma is nailing it right now with their 3S and 4S trucks. These two trucks, the Outcast 4S and now the 3S Infraction BLX, is awesome. And the fact, guys, this truck comes in at $400, and you really get something that does a little bit of everything. At one point, guys, and you'll see this in the next video, I was trying to jump a speed bump. You can imagine how that went, but still, truck's in one piece, still good to go, still solid. Yeah, a lot of fun. But anyways, I've rambled on long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Please subscribe. And yes, there are a few pics. Have a great night.